booties for black girl nerds. Ooh, look at this beautiful lady. Hi, Jewel.
Hi, how are you?
Very good. Thank you. Thank you so much for being with me. Congratulations on the win. That has to be a fun sort of win where you can kind of move through anonymity and not as Jewel, and still people see the merits of your incredible talent. As someone whose talent was in the public eye, what was it like to achieve something without them knowing the full dimensions of who you are?
I have a youth foundation, and I often tell my kids that if you place your worth outside of yourself, that's giving other people a lot of power to take your worth away, right? If you get fired, and your self-worth is tied up in that job title or money or whatever it is. And so this show, in a really weird way, allowed me to not be any of those extrinsic things, my name or my accolades or what's happened in my life, and just show my heart. And it was oddly, it's such a kitschy, silly show, but it ended up letting me have a really sincere and really authentic experience. And it was really fun.
It was fun watching you. The Queen of Hearts, as we know, the Queen of Hearts got to perform a lot of cool songs, those that are very important to you and inspired you. How did that selection of songs, as a performer and a fan of music, there are lots of songs, I'm sure, that have inspired you over the years. How did you narrow it down to those particular ones?
I'm a songwriter, and I've never written for my voice. I don't know why. I've never written songs that show my technical ability as a singer. I was so focused on the lyric and the story. And so with this show, I really wanted to pick songs that caused me to want to be a singer. I grew up listening to Patsy Cline's She's Got You or Edith Piaf's La Vie en Rose. And so I chose these songs that I consider really heroic and just wanted to focus strictly on my technical ability.
Mm-hmm. And so now we get to enjoy them off of the show now with a new EP. Congratulations on that as well. Although we have some restrictions in what we can do in the world right now, would you ever plan on doing a little small, like an intimate tour performing those sorts of songs? Because that would be really, really cool, like a cool vibe.
Oh, that would be fun. Yeah, I hadn't thought of doing that. I didn't think I was going to do this EP when I started the show. It's just when I walked off stage at the end of the last performance, I'd worked so hard on these arrangements and to really make, these songs my own. Like Sia's Bird Set Free is a really different version than hers. And it was so emotional for me that I just wanted them to be able to live forever. So it didn't just disappear. So it was fun to do.
Mm-hmm. Something that I've enjoyed with talking to some of the other contestants is hearing about the cloud of secrecy that takes place, not just for the audience, but just even getting to set with the robes and the hoodies and all of the things that you wear to get to set each day. Did you ever sit back and marvel and go, wow, this is really something else? And no one knows it's me, and we're still doing all these security measures.
Being famous was really difficult for me when I reached the height of, I guess it was maybe when I was on Time magazine. The level of fame I achieved was really difficult psychologically. It's why a lot of people in my industry have nervous breakdowns or OD or, even commit suicide, because psychologically this job is hard and not a lot of people talk about it. And so I found being famous to be pretty difficult. I, of course, loved that I got to make a living doing something I loved and was so thankful for it. But the anonymity of the Masked Singer was really nice. I loved not doing hair and makeup and just showing up with my hair in a ponytail and being able to just cover my face. I loved that part.
The clues, as I got ready to speak with you, I was reading up the clues are like the shape of the character and the homage to your time in Alaska. Did you confer with someone to put those little touches on there? Or is that a common practice that now fans will get tipped off to look for clues in future contestants in their costumes, different sorts of clues?
I really wanted to incorporate it. The costume was designed on a piece of art I did. I do visual art, and I had just been working on the sculpture of a heart breaking open with this sort of light spilling out of it and this one eye that made like a star. And it was based on a line I'd written in a poem that said, all of our hearts are destined to be broken, but it's what we do with the pieces that make us extraordinary. Mm. And so I knew when the show approached me that I wanted that to be what I was standing for and representing. I think the world has plenty of smart people. We don't need more smart people. We need people with more heart. And so it was fun to be able to represent that and put little clues in the costume, like the jewel shape.
Very, very clever. I saw a picture on Natasha's Instagram of the two of you, and you guys look so sweet. And it just took me back to being to my teen years and my early 20s and enjoying both of your music. How was it like to be with her and all these other wonderfully talented people on the show? Because you all know who each other are, I think. Do you all
We
know who each
don't.
other?
I had no idea. They keep it top secret. You don't even see anybody else go to stage. You all show up at different times. I've never heard anybody perform during the filming of the show. I had no idea who or what I was up against. And so it wasn't until me watching the show later that I actually got to be like, and I was floored by Natasha. Like, I just thought her voice was, I mean, extraordinary. That song that she sang was just crazy good.
It was beautiful. And lastly, now with this EP and people getting to enjoy these different versions of songs that you'll be performing, could this be an annual thing where you sing songs that inspired you? Is this something you'd like to continue in the future and doing these new arrangements of songs that you've always enjoyed?
I don't know. This is the first time I've ever really done covers. It was so fun, and that's definitely why I made the EP. But I don't know if I would do it, more. I'm often just really focused on what I'm writing. I have a new album coming out called Freewheeling Woman. It'll be out this spring. I'll be touring this summer. And so I'll just take it from there.
I know your youth people are going to be super, super excited the next time you're able to connect with them now that the show is done. And I know they're very proud of you. Thank you for your time.
Well, thank you. So nice to see you.
It's nice to see you too. Thank you again.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Let me start. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Jeandra from Black Girl Nerds. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Hi, Jeandra.
Hi there. Congratulations on going all the way to the end. I enjoyed all of your performances so much. As a person who has been in a spotlight, what was the experience like to be able to showcase your talents and do it in complete anonymity for a change?
It was incredible. I mean, you and I both know that this industry has been very, very difficult, and sometimes it's hard on people who look like us and people who are part of the LGBTQ plus community as well. And sometimes in certain chapters of my life, that has felt like a little bit of a handicap. And so even though it seems really deep for a show that's just meant to be like surface level fun, for me to be able to do a show in a time where the world could be arguably the most divided that it's been in our lifetime, to be on a show where people fall in love with your character and not your skin color, not your sexual orientation, was incredible. And I'm so glad that I got a chance to do it. And I don't necessarily always have the most confidence in my singing ability. And so me doing this show meant a lot to me to be able to go on, and it gave me a lot of confidence to see that I was making it to that I made it to the end of this competition. Has helped me like get a little boost that I needed to be able to enter 2022 taking no prisoners.
I love that. Entering 2022 with new music, new album, new tour.
Yes.
This is a great platform to jump off all of those different endeavors that you're trying to accomplish in 2022. How would you say this has made you grow as an artist? You mentioned that, you got to capitalize on your singing and that you felt insecure about, but in other ways, how has this experience helped you as a performer in general?
Well, I think that my life as a performer and just as a human intertwine a lot because I am a social media influencer. So as a performer, people are also invested in my day-to-day life. And I just think just in general, I can be quite safe in a lot of the choices that I make, even though that might seem shocking to some people, maybe not. But I think that pre-pandemic, I wouldn't have done this because there's too many risks. If I'm going to perform and sing live, that the videos are going to last out there for forever. And I tend to overanalyze things before I do them. And so I think that I threw caution to the wind and like just took a risk, which is something I preach about and tell people to do all the time. But sometimes I get the best love advice in my life from people who can't keep a relationship together. And so I think that it helped me. There's a song that Kehlani sings that I love. That's where she says, it's time to take my own advice. And I think I did that with this. So I think I want to apply that to my life and career, just to take risks, like leap and jump off the edge with no parachute and hope that, you know, like life catches you. Because life is so short, and I never want to look back in my career and be upset that I played it too safe. And this was one of the most fun experiences I've ever had. And the idea that I would have potentially turned it down is just, it's sad to me because it was such a fun experience.
Well, the sad thought can go into the back because you did do it. I like the way, I like what you said about, you know, being nervous. And a lot of people equate being a performer with just being these totally extroverted people who have zero fear factor about anything. Can you talk a little bit more of that? Because I think people get that confused, that when you perform, then that just means there is no fear in life in any way.
Yeah, I think that it's really insane because I see things about myself online all the time, and I'm like, nobody who's ever met me would think this. But I think I've gotten really great at giving a poker face, and I write songs that are full of confidence. And don't get me wrong, that is an aspect of who I am. I mean, I am writing those songs, and I am a confident person in a lot of ways, but there are a lot of things I'm insecure about. And I think most people who are loud and boisterous and like attention seeking in a lot of ways are oftentimes struggling with some massive amount of insecurity, far more than a person who would maybe even consider themselves to be insecure. But I think that for a lot of people, a lot of performers, we didn't fit in high school and in middle school, and we found this one thing we were good at, and dancing and singing was our safe haven, so we came and pursued it. But that kid that got bullied in school is very much, she's still there. Like, and so I think that sometimes I look around and I can't believe, I feel like I have imposter syndrome, like I've catfished the world into thinking I'm this super confident person. And when people meet me, sometimes I feel like a pressure to deliver something that, like, I don't even know what they're expecting to meet, because I'm definitely not that person that sings Nails Her Hips Heels. Like, that definitely is not me. I had fun pretending to be her for that video, but that's not who I am at the core. I'm not shy. I love to talk and I love people, but I am very, very insecure and very scared. And if you put a straight guy in the room with me, I will just go on vocal rest really fast, because I still just get uncomfortable in situations like that. I don't drink, I don't party. I make songs for people to go and dance to in clubs, but you'll never see me there really. And so it's just very strange. I oftentimes talk to people and they say, you're so different from what I would expect you to be. So I just think that I used to be guilty of judging artists and celebrities before I ever met them, and saying horrible things about people that I've now met and think they're the sweetest people in the world. And so it's been a huge learning lesson for me to not ever judge a book by its cover, and maybe not even judge the book once you've opened the cover of the book, because sometimes you just meet people on bad days, you know, but that doesn't mean that that is a representation of who they truly are deep down.
Mhm. It takes a great deal of bravery just to open yourself to critique, to being an artist, to sharing your gift in the world. Do you feel brave? It's a brave act, and you probably recognize it as a brave act, but do you feel that bravery? Because your comment, if I stop my mail lady right now, she's not going to get up and sing carry. Oh, well, she might, but she might not get up and sing and share her gift with people, because it takes bravery to even pursue that, these
Yeah,
ambitions.
I'm starting to feel more brave as life goes on. I used to, the past few years since 2019 have been really difficult, because social media has just taken a different turn, and there's like a level of awareness you're expected to have. And people want you to be in this thin line where they want you to be really vulnerable and share everything and be real and authentic. They'll love that. They'll use that as like words to like lift you up and say, wow, you're so real and so raw and authentic and unfiltered. But then you get too unfiltered and you say something, and then that will be the thing that they use to like pin you to the cross. And also you could say something right now on this call that is totally socially acceptable, but next year it might not be. And then you have to worry
Mhm.
about what you said last year. And it's really, really hard to even be an artist these days, because you're so nervous about like feeling like you're running for president of the United States, like you're a politician, and you got to say the right thing at all times. And humans are flawed. That takes away the entire experience of being a human and messing up and falling on your face to learn how to walk, to learn how to ride a bike, to learn how to swim, to, you have to fail first, you know? And when those failures are like highlighted and put on a big jumbotron for millions of people to see and give their opinions about it, it's really difficult. And some people close up and say, well, then I might as well not try. And that was me last year. You know, I did the least amount of work I have ever done in the past 365 days. But then I got over it and said, you know what, I'm gonna really still go for it because this is what I love to do. And I just know that there's going to be negative criticism and things that are going to hurt my feelings that people are going to say. But it's made me stronger in a lot of ways. And so I do feel that courage that you initially asked the question about, I feel like that's coming back. Every time you get up to do anything, you have to know that it's going to always be great feedback at first. And then people on the outside of your inner circle of super fans see it, and the negative criticism comes. And you have to accept that too, as a form of success. When people are not hating on you, then you're not successful. Like, no one's hating on someone that isn't and not a threat. They're hating on you because they are seeing your content, even if they weren't looking for it, you know?
Well, I'm glad you turned that corner because I enjoy you so much and your personality and your music.
Thank
You
you.
make anthem songs. I mean, I've seen Candy post, I've seen Lupita post it, and that's just the two I can name off of the top of my head, creating these albums. So what is your next album going to be like when you have a monster hit like that? What is the next level of Todrick Hall and the next level of music? And is it a matter of trying to top that, or is it expanding into a style that you already feel comfortable in?
I just have to let you know, I want to meet you in person because I feel like I need you to be my therapist. I feel so calm talking to you. I've been on press calls for 2 hours today, and you're just the sweetest person. I'm like,
Oh,
love
thank
your
you.
your questions are you're so good at what you do. I'm sad I haven't met you before this, but I hope we get to meet in person. To me, it used to be about trying to top that. It was always a competition, but now I'm just like, I want to expand my discography and have music that reaches everything. And honestly, most of my biggest songs are just me rapping and talking to some sort of sassy beat. But I've started to sing more now that I have done The Masked Singer. So my next album's next year. I don't know how much I'm even allowed to say right now because I'm really trying to do so much next year. But I have multiple albums coming out next year, and I've had so much fun writing them and recording all of them. And Masked Singer was honestly the fuel that like made me want to get into the studio and write so many songs. So it's going to be very true to Todrick. Like, I don't think that anything is a complete left turn, but all the songs have confidence. They feel inspirational. They feel like they're love songs and anthems written for the LGBTQ plus community, but also just for anybody who needs that extra pep in their step from day to day. And I'm really excited about performing the songs live. I'm going on tour March through May, the Femulan World Tour. I've spent so much time just crafting the arrangements of the songs and how we're gonna execute them and perform them for the audience. It's gonna be my best tour yet, and I'm really excited to open in Seattle and to hear people's response to the show because I'm really proud of what we're doing so far.
Well, you are doing some great things. Shout out to Seattle. I went to college in Seattle, so that's a
Hey,
good jumping off place to start. Well, I am so happy for you. I'm glad you had a wonderful season. You're so wonderfully talented and creative and interesting and fun. And keep going your path, and don't let anybody get you off your square.
Thank you, my love. And please send me your skin regimen because it is powerful. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a good black don't crack. Thank
Hallelujah.
you.
Merry
Thank you so
Christmas.
much. Merry Christmas. Have a wonderful new year and have a wonderful tour.
All right. Bye-bye, my love.
Bye-bye.
Better shake your booties for black girl nerves. Better shake your booties for black girl nerves.